Since I was young enough to walk, baseball has always been a passion of mine. In fact, as a young child, I loved it so much, I used to call myself Baby Ruth and sleep with a baseball instead of a stuffed animal. So, as I've grown up, I've always enjoyed playing competitively. One of the stories that sticks out to me the most happened when I was 12 years old. My baseball team was in a tournament and we were playing for the championship. It was nearing the end of the game and the score was tied, both teams needing one run to win. Now, as you may know, early puberty is a cruel age where one kid may look like a full-grown man and the next a child. So to ensure their victory, the other team marched out a man-child onto the field who was throwing the ball at 80 plus miles an hour, a very impressive speed for a 12-year-old. So after striking out a few batters back to back, it was my turn to bat. So stepping into the batter's box, at the opposite end of the puberty spectrum, I went through my pre-at-bat rituals and prayed, asking God to please help me get a hit. As he threw the first pitch, I swung as hard as I could, expecting nothing. But miraculously, the ball hit my bat and flew into the outfield. I ended up scoring the winning run that game. Right now, you may be wondering what baseball has to do with Christianity. And the answer is that God has the ability to help people overcome impossible barriers when they place their faith in him. God shows this ability in the famous story of David and Goliath. When the Israelites were at war with the Philistines, both armies were camped and ready for war. And then a champion came out of the army of the Philistines named Goliath, who was 6 cubits tall. And he wore armor that weighed 5,000 pounds. He challenged the Israelites, saying, "Choose a man for yourselves to fight me. And if he is able to kill me, we shall become your servants. But if I kill him, then you shall serve us." All of the Israelites were afraid to accept this challenge, and they let the Philistines continue to taunt them, until a young shepherd named David said that he would fight the giant. He placed his faith in the Lord, saying, "He will deliver me from the hand of the Philistine." David then got 5 smooth stones from a brook to fight Goliath with. When David appeared to fight the giant, he was disdained and made fun of. But then God worked a miracle, and with one rock, David killed Goliath. But it all happened because David placed his faith in the Lord and was willing to put that faith into action. We need to learn to trust God the same way David did. Throughout life, we face many obstacles, and we generally rely on our own strength rather than the strength of God. And we are constantly faced with the advice of the world, encouraging us to give up or give in, or to turn to the answers of the world, which lead to sin. What we should do is what David did. David said, "The same God that delivered me from the paw of the bear and the paw of the lion will deliver me from this Philistine." He knew where his strength came from. And we need to have that kind of awareness of the strength we get from God. And we need to have the faith to rely on that strength. And David not only believed in the power of God, he was willing to take action based on his faith. We must realize it is not simply believing in something that will solve our problems, but it is when we are obedient to our faith that God can work miracles through us. God expects us to have a faith that motivates us to follow his teachings. The story of David and Goliath is very intriguing, and there are a lot of lessons to be learned. But the one that impresses me today is if God can accomplish the defeat of a giant by a small shepherd boy with a slingshot and a small rock, then there's no limit to what he can do through you and through me. But we must be aware of God's power. We must place our faith in him, and we must put our obedient faith into action. And then we must be willing to pick up the rock.